Are you ready?
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, Tool to Play presents Still Got Game with Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
If you'd like to sponsor Still Got Game, email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. Hey now, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to Still Got Game, episode 306. Still Got Game is the official podcast of tooltoplay.com. Blue-eyed me is, as always, Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
I am Joel Dude I Rock Albert.
What is going on, Joel Dude I Rock Albert, my friend?
Not much. A little bit of this, a little bit of that. Same old, same old.
That is the most generic answer that was possible.
Yeah, and literally I've had a very generic week, so there's really nothing else to tell you.
Oh, that happens.
As it is. Sometimes
not every week can be exceptional.
No, you just can't have it that way. Not every week a man can break into your house and fall asleep on your couch.
No, your story was a big popular hit last week. I noticed a lot of people laughing about it on Twitter. So
nice.
Yeah, people laughing at your yeah, exactly.
Always brings me joy.
That's what our fans do. You know, they take our stories and anything that they can say, oh, that's worse than me, they latch onto. And
sure. And like I would do the same to them. So there's no harm, no foul.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, nothing wrong with that. All right, well, let's hop in the show proper then. We'll try to keep this quick tonight since we got off to a late start, and we will jump into feedback from last week's show. If you want to leave us any voicemails, they will cut you off after a minute. Precious comments. A friend recommended your show to me a couple weeks back. I dropped in for your live stream last week, and all I can say is, oh my fucking God. So funny. I'll definitely be a regular from now on.
Well, it's interesting how one man's gold is another man's shit.
Yes.
I think we'll get to this later, but we always appreciate good comments. I like it when people think we're funny. Sometimes I think that we're not very funny. And I think that's okay. I think we deliver on many aspects of gaming.
It's not like we're comedians by trade.
Yeah, no one's paying us to do this. So, that's totally fine. I like it that when you guys enjoy the show. I like that people put that input in for us. And so it's always nice to get,
Yeah, I would agree. Yeah. So thank you, Precious. And I'm assuming you are a female, I hope, with a name like Precious. Unless it's Precious. But could be either way. Who knows? Jay's shaking his head. He didn't really care either way. He was just happy for the good comment. And
sure. If you want to
you want a make out session, just give a positive comment. Doesn't matter gender for him. Yeah. All right. Victor Benham comments. I usually skip talk shows on Twitch and go for the gameplay channels, but I accidentally clicked the link on D Smooth's Twitter when my TweetDeck updated the list of tweets as I was clicking on another one. Well, I guess that's pretty cool. Happy accident. I stuck around for the show, and I was glad I did. And this has actually happened to me before on Twitter also. Like, you see some tweet, and you're about to click on it, and then the whole thing updates, and you accidentally click on some other tweet. But this was, like, the most awesome, as he said, happy accident. That is, I'll tell any way we get a viewer is good with me.
Yeah, it's hard for us to get our stuff out there, especially in the sea of Twitch and the sea of podcasts and the sea of all that stuff. So however you find us, and as long as you enjoy it, that's a good thing. So
yes. So thank you, Victor, and welcome aboard. And we are glad that you are now a super fan. Well, maybe I went a little strong and called you a super fan. Maybe you're just a fan. But
like he just saw the show once. Now he's like devoting his life to it.
He's tattooed, still got game down his arm. Yeah. Yes, yeah. So we can only hope that you're going to stick around and you enjoy the show more and more. And then on the flip side from Precious and Victor Benham, Red Sun comments. Your show is unfunny. You guys are unfunny. I wasted an hour of my time for this shit? ? Who's going to refund my time?
Well, the bad news is no one is.
Yeah. You didn't pay anything, so there's really nothing to refund, and you can't refund time. Last I checked.
Right. Well, we talked about this like pre-show, and even Hit was saying, "Do you really want us to put this on?" We love these comments. This is good shit, right? Because not everyone is going to think we're funny. Me and Derek think we're funny, right? Like. By ourselves. We think we're funny people.
Precious and Victor Benham think we're funny.
They agree as well. Not everyone is going to think so. The irony of comments like this, though, that me and Derek also discussed is this guy sat through the entire show to realize we were unfunny, which I would hope that you had some personal responsibility for your own time and realized 5 minutes in that we sucked. and left. But no, he stayed around, potentially for the entire hour, to really formulate this opinion. I mean, really concerted effort on his part for taking the whole hour to really make that choice.
Want to make sure he got it right.
Yeah, because you never know. Last 5 minutes could have been amazing.
Yep. He's 5 minutes in. He's like, this sucks. And then 20 minutes, he's like, this still fucking sucks. That's
Absolutely.
20 minutes wasted. But I'm going to hang in there just to see if it still sucks.
Like, did the whole thing.
What the fuck? You know what? It's your own fucking fault. If you didn't like how we started, you're not going to like how we finish, okay? We drink during the show. It only gets progressively worse.
Yeah, it gets progressively worse. Yeah.
So if you come in and you're not liking it, you're surely going to leave not liking it.
Yeah. You're probably going to leave hating it. And I think that's what ended up with him. So I guess problem solved. I don't know. Like, I'm glad that you spent the whole time to realize it's not your cup of tea. But we invite you to come back and watch again to really make, you don't know. I say give us at least 2-3 months of your life, possibly a full year, to truly decide if you hate us.
That could have been a one-off, you know? Maybe it was just the one episode you didn't like. Who knows?
This could be the life changer right here today. Now you're not going to know.
This is the turnaround episode, and you're missing it. I'm probably missing it. I'm assuming you didn't do
we may get feedback next week and be like, nope, just to confirm, still hate you, still unfunny. Please give me 2 hours of my life back.
Yeah. And we'll give you the caveat now that there's no refunds, Red Sun.
Yeah.
But thank you for joining us last week. We appreciate you having you for that hour. That was nice.
Feel free to subscribe too while you hate us.
Yeah. Yes, most definitely. You might as well throw some money at something. Maybe that'll fix it.
Then you might actually get a refund. I don't know. It wouldn't be from us, but you could, make an attempt.
You protest to your credit card and something. Yeah. Who knows? Yes. All right. Well, if any of it, either positive or negative feedback like that, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Or email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. And in site-related news, we got nothing major except for to remind you all again that we have the Tool to Play Twitch team page up now. That's at twitch.tv/team/Tool to Play. So go there, and it's a direct interface into whatever the Tool to Play crew here is streaming, whether it's on the Tool to Play channel, or it's my channel, Jay's channel, Hit's channel, Tiff's channel,
LB's channel,
Sarcasmo's channel. So it's the Tool to Play broadcasting public all in one spot. So if you're fans of ours or fans of some of our offshoots, most definitely hit up there.
Or if you're an older gamer and you want to be a part of that, feel free to send us an email. Yep. I guess admin@tooltoplay.com is probably the easiest one, since me and Derek both get it. Yep. But you could also use Twitter and interface with us directly via the public eye if you want to do that.
Yeah, we love Twitter mentions. I usually cater to each and every mention I get, and there's a lot. I have a lot of Twitter followers.
So, at him, at me, say, hey, I'm old, I like to play games, and I like to have people watch me while I do it. Yep. And we'll throw it up on the team page.
Most definitely. And our Twitters are at the bottom there, in our lower third, somewhere down here. Yep. So, twitter.com/Derek Nolan, twitter.com/DudeIRock, spelled massively incorrectly. All right. And on that, Jay, why don't we slam into what we're playing? Joel Dude I Rock Albert, what have you been playing this week?
A little bit more of the World of Warcraft, as always, 2 days a week. But other than that, I really haven't had any time. This week's been pretty, generic, like I said, so I haven't had any time. I actually booted up my PS4 for the first time in like 8 months just to make sure it still works.
Get some software updates?
Yeah, like literally I was like, this is going to be like my gaming on the PS4 for this week. I'm just going to update for the next hour and a half. The goal was to play some Uncharted, and then literally because it had been so long, the updates took like 20-30 minutes, and I was like, well, guess it's time to go to bed. So nice. I actually didn't get the opportunity to play Uncharted, but that was the goal. So hopefully next week I'll get a chance to actually dive into that game.
At least now it's updated for next time.
Yeah, so it's ready to go. So next 5 months when I get to it and update again, I'll also not be able to play.
Yeah, that's true. Yes. Well, I played a lot of Destiny. I did 3 Crota raids, I did everything 3 times now because I got my 332s and just rocking that system. I love Destiny. It's good shit. I can't wait to the expansion, but in the meantime, hey, I'll still play this shit. There's always someone that hasn't done something. There's always someone you haven't played with. And it's always a good time to change things up, play with someone different, do things a different way, learn the way someone else does something, and I appreciate playing with new and different people. You get your same core crew, you change out a couple guys, and it's keeps it fun and interesting. And it also keeps the community stuff up. So lots of Tool to Play, former Tool to Play guys. It's a good time. So I'm enjoying the shit out of it. Most definitely.
look, if you still enjoy the game, you still play the game. That's the way I look at it. I mean, I've heard a lot of people saying like, Destiny, I'm so sick of it. It's like, well, then don't play anymore.
Yeah,
that's the best way choice to not be sick of it. But yeah, I got tons of feedback every week from other gamer friends of mine. They're all still well in the Destiny world and absolutely love it and can't wait to play more of it. So it's like more power to them. I myself am still waiting for the next, at least the announcement. I need like a little bit of hype, I think. And then I would probably even get back involved to just get my,
I think we all know House of Wolves is coming in May. I think we all know.
Do you think that's true? I really, 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 really hope so. I mean, I really do. Because I don't think they can go much longer than May.
No, I think May is the day, even though they're always like, there's been no day. But I believe they told everybody offline that it was May. And then they're like, but we don't know. And then now it's May. So, all right, Jay. Well, why don't we hop on over into the new releases? First new release out this week is a multi-platform release, and it's Borderlands, the Handsome Collection. This is out for the Xbox One and the PS4. This is the game that Borderlands fans have been clamoring for since the new consoles came out. For only $60, you get Borderlands 2 and Borderlands the Pre-Sequel and all of their respective DLC, along with remastered graphics that run at 1080p 60 frames a second on your Xbox One or PS4. Multiplayer in the game has been redone now to do 4-player split screen instead of just 2-player split screen. Nice little added bonus there for you couch co-op people. You can transfer your old saves as long as it's in the same console family. So if you were an Xbox 360 person, you can bring up your saves to the Xbox One. You're a PlayStation 3 person, you can bring them up to the PS4. I don't know. This is an amazing deal. This may actually get people there to play the pre-sequel, because that was the worst part about that game, was the new consoles were out. Everybody loved Borderlands, and they're like, yes, and here comes Borderlands the pre-sequel for the old consoles that you don't play anymore. And I think that the timing of the launch of that game was horrible, and maybe this will help make up for that, because, you and I still have 5 Xbox 360s in the house, but a lot of people ended up getting rid of their Xbox 360s to be able to afford an Xbox One or PS3 to get a PS4. So those people completely missed out on this. And I think this is good timing, and I think it's a good show of faith. I know that Randy Pitchford had said that they wanted to do Borderlands also, but it had to do with the engine the games were done in, and Borderlands 2 and the pre-sequel were done in the same engine. So by doing the pre-sequel, they basically got Borderlands 2 for free, where Borderlands 1 is a much older engine, and it is not. Yeah, they have to
do some revamp and all. They don't want to spend the money. I mean, I understand.
Yes, but you know what? At this point, you're pretty okay to come in at Borderlands 2. That's really where the Handsome Jack stuff starts, and you can rock that all the way through, and it's brought back in the pre-sequel. So I don't know. It seems like a steal for $60.
Yeah, I think my only comment, and it's where I agree with Hit too, is that like I am getting a little tired of like the remasters, and I understand that this isn't really. It is a remaster, but like it was close enough to the launch of the new systems where it's not that long of a period of time to then reintroduce this for everybody.
Yeah, it's no different than when GTA 5 came out.
Right, to do that port over. Yeah, so I mean, it's in this case, it's probably not warranted for the hate, but it is sort of a trend that I think we're starting to see. Is like, we had this game on the old system, we don't want to build a new game, so we're just going to remaster this game and set it out for you. But in this case, I do think there's a value add there. I don't know that if it's worth $60. The only thing that I would say is it's an old enough game where it feels like it should be $40. Feels
Borderlands
like
2 is an old game, but the pre-sequel really isn't that old. And the pre-sequel is what you're buying. The pre-sequel is what you're buying, and you're getting Borderlands 2 for free and all the DLC.
Yeah, I mean, I think the DLC part and having Borderlands 2, I think that's very true. But I also don't think like they could probably even get the traction without including those things. I don't think anyone's going to spend that kind of money. Certainly not $60 on just the prequel stuff. But I guess if you were to add it all up, it's still a pretty decent deal. It just feels like it is older. No matter which way you look at it, it's like an older piece of the storyline. So it's like, I'm $60 on it.
I see what you're saying, but
I mean, I totally agree. I mean, it's close enough where people that maybe were just like, look, I am already on the new system, I'm done with my Xbox. They had no opportunity to buy this game. So yeah, it's good for that.
Yeah. All right, I agree. All right, well, the next new release out this week is out for the PS4, and it is Bloodborne. This is the new PS4 exclusive action role-playing game from Software. That's the company that gave us Demon's Souls and Dark Souls, the super hardest games that have ever been put out anytime ever. We saw this for the first time, and it was showcased at Sony's E3 press briefing. The game is set in a Gothic period and looks absolutely amazing. After kind of a decent lull in PS4 games here in the Nolan household, I've actually been considering picking this one up. It looks that good, and it might be the thing that gets me off my ass to pick up something on the PS4.
I mean, for me, I don't know that RPG-wise, like I'm going to invest any time in a game like this. I mean, it does look actually really good. I looked at the screens before the show or whatever. It looks amazing. But there's certainly nothing that I can, not also get on my 4-year-old PC that's going to look more amazing already. So it's kind of hard for me to use that as my barometer to purchase it. But the company itself, if anyone's ever really got into Demon Souls or Dark Souls with those games, they are hardcore. So I really wonder how Bloodborne's really going to play out, in terms of how tough of a game it's going to be. I'm glad to see some exclusives, though. I mean, I totally agree with you. The reason I booted up the PS4, believe it or not, wasn't really just to play Uncharted. I mean, the actual reason was I was like, have there been any new games for PS4 that I just have been oblivious to, forgetting that we do this show and I would know about them anyway, just from the context of doing the show. But it really has been such a long lull that I was like, I don't even, did I miss something? I feel like there's a major game that should be out by now.
Yeah, you can pop on every month and get your free games.
You get free games, yeah, it's very true. But it is cool, and the developers, like I said, they make some pretty hardcore games. It'd be interesting to see how hard Bloodborne is. But other than that, I'm not going to be purchasing. So, no.
All right, fair enough. All right, well, the last new release out this week is out for the Wii U, and it's Mario Party 10. This is the 14th game in the franchise and the 10th in the Mario Party proper series. It also marks the first time that the game has been on the Wii U. It includes 2 new modes, one being Bowser Party, in which one player using the gamepad controls Bowser and tries to stop the other players from reaching the end, and Amiibo Party, which leverages the stupid little figures that I don't understand why people are buying them or what they're doing with them, because it's the dumbest fucking thing ever. Now, while the Wii U still sucks asshole drippings, Mario Party is kind of a nice addition to the console's weak-ass lineup. So I think that it helps, but maybe it's too little too late. Who knows? But I always like the Mario Party games.
I'm sorry, but I still have to say, I think Nintendo has a pretty awesome lineup. I mean, a lot of the games that I've bought, in the last, I haven't bought a lot of console games in general. I mean, just as general, because I play a lot of PC now. But I have actually purchased, I think, more Wii games than I have on my Xbox. Mostly because you were talking Zelda or in Mario, Kart, and a couple others. So Super Smash Brothers was a huge game for them as well.
So you have 4 games now.
Yeah, but I mean, comparatively speaking, within the last 6-month period, I've bought I guess you could kind of say Halo, but I don't even consider it a purchase because the game was never played. And then Destiny. So I mean, my difference between the two is actually double. Which is pretty good. But I don't know. We'll see. Mario Party, though, you're right. I mean, I don't give a shit. It's not.
Sometimes it's fun when people are over and everybody's drinking or whatever. But I can't get over the fact that you're still playing with Wiimotes here in 2015. It's
I can agree with that.
Yes.
No, we're done with the quirkiness of the Wii U. We don't. Yeah. Wiimotes were a good fad.
Yeah, give everybody a fucking giant gamepad now. Let's get 5 of those fucking Wii U gamepads, and then we'll talk. But no. Yep. All right, Jay. Well, on that, why don't we meander on over into gaming news? First story.
All right, first story on the list. Konami wants new blood to lead the next Metal Gear Solid. So that's good because people thought it was going to go away. So any speculation that the departure of Hideo Kojima from Konami, Kojima.
That was the worst pronunciation of
Kojima.
Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima. You can just say it's one long word. That's how everybody says it. Hideo Kojima.
Hideo Kojima.
Yeah, well, that was pro.
Okay. From Konami would spell the end of the developer's Metal Gear franchise was put to rest on Friday as the publisher released a statement committing to new installments of the series. So yay, more Metal Gear. Which, by the way, did anyone ever really believe just because he was leaving that they would get rid of one of their biggest IPs?
I thought it would shit the bed.
I mean, I think, and that's still may be the case. That is not, just because this announcement came out Totally a possibility. Quote, Konami will continue to develop and distribute top quality content in the Metal Gear series following Metal Gear Solid 5, The Phantom Pain, the publisher said. Quote, we greatly anticipate and deeply appreciate your ongoing support for Metal Gear. As the next step in the series, Konami has already resolved to develop a new Metal Gear. We will be conducting interviews for main staff to lead development. So they haven't even found who's going to make this thing shit the bed yet. They haven't even found that guy.
This is true.
Keep that in mind. While Konami didn't confirm that Kojima is departing the publisher, as reported on Thursday, it only said that the developer would remain with the company throughout the Phantom Pain's development. So he's still going to be around. The game is set to launch worldwide in early September. Konami's statement also included a quote from Kojima that was similarly non-committal about his future with the company after the game's launch. Quote from Kojima, I want to reassure fans that I am 100% involved and will continue working on Metal Gear Solid 5. I am determined to make the greatest game I've directed to date. Those are pretty big words coming from him. So hopefully that's the case. I don't know if he's just hyping you up because he's on the way out. And he's just like, yeah, it's the greatest thing I've ever done. News of a rift between Kojima and Konami first emerged Thursday as the publisher pulled the developer's name from a number of Metal Gear Solid 5 marketing materials, including the franchise's official Twitter account, which is kind of fucked up. That was followed by a source within Kojima Productions confirming for GameSpot that Kojima and other senior staff at the studio are planning to depart the publisher at the end of the year. So we've kind of already talked about our thoughts, but so what do you think? So yes, he's going to be around for the end of this, but does this really matter? I mean, I never thought the IP was going away. I mean, that's insane.
I didn't think it was going away either, but when the rumors came out about Hideo Kojima leaving, that should have scared anyone that's a fan of the series. I don't think that is can be debated. He is synonymous with Metal Gear. So that should make people nervous. It's nice to know he's around through the end of Metal Gear Solid 5, but I really question what's going to happen to the series after that. And like you said, we all liked Metal Gear at one point. Some people still love it. It just became too slow and hidey for me at some point. And I bailed on it then, but yeah, people still love it. So who knows?
Yeah, I mean, to me, it's in the last iteration's always been a tedious series, and I don't want to play tedious video games. That's not what I want to do. But yeah, I mean, my whole thing has always been there is no indication, nor was there ever an indication, just because he was leaving, that this franchise would all of a sudden just go away. There's way too much money involved. Whether or not the franchise can survive, I think that's probably the most debatable point. Probably not. Right?
I guess we'll see what happens with Metal Gear Solid 6, won't we?
We'll see. We will.
Yep. All right. Next story.
Next story. Halo 5 teaser site asks, who is the real Master Chief? Lame. This is from GameSpot. So Microsoft's Halo 5 Guardians Hunt the Truth teaser website is now live, offering new, albeit vague, details about the upcoming Xbox One game that's expected to launch this year. The website introduces Benjamin Gerald, a journalist and war photographer recently assigned by Microsoft to write an in-depth profile on Master Chief. As he got to work on his profile of the celebrated hero, Gerard discovered that his once simple story of Master Chief and his heroics were morphing into a full-blown investigation. Quote, sources claim they know the real Master Chief, the boy, the soldier, the hero, the traitor, but who's telling the truth? Reads a line from the teaser page. As part of the teaser campaign, Microsoft will release serial-style episodes detailing Gerard's investigation into Master Chief through SoundCloud, of all places. I mean, kind of lame. All right. SoundCloud that popular now? Am I missing out on things?
It's not even a Microsoft property, but people use it.
Everyone uses it. I guess that's good, right?
You think like they put it on their OneDrive.
Yeah, right? They're like, fuck it, SoundCloud. It's so much better. The first installment, episode 00, Primer, is available to stream now. Who is the Master Chief? Where does he come from? Is he keeping us safe? Join me as I hunt the truth about Master Chief, quote, Gerard says in the first chapter. Master Chief isn't the only playable character for Halo 5 story mode. Newcomer Agent Locke, who has a mysterious relationship with Master Chief, is also playable. Meanwhile, Cortana is expected to make her awesome appearance in the game, because you need to have Cortana or you can't have Halo. Halo 5 is in development at 343 Industries exclusively for the Xbox One. Recently, producer John Holmes revealed that the game will use dedicated servers, thank God, for all multiplayer, including custom games, finally, because it's 2015, 2016? I feel like we can do this now.
It is. It's about time.
It's only, 5 years in the making. So what are your thoughts? Everyone remembers the, I Love Bees thing, which turned out to be like super successful for them.
Yeah, that was one of the first ARGs that I remember in the video game world going on.
Yeah.
And it was a way to build up hype around a game that already had fucking skyrocketing hype. So I'm always a fan of some new ARG thing. And when I saw that first little teaser video and people started to tweak information out of it, it's exciting. It reminds me of the I Love Bees stuff. So.
But the I Love Bees stuff, my thing is like, I thought this was lame, to be honest with you.
Really?
Well, because the I Love Bees stuff was so like,
it was like the rabbit hole. You had to
you had to dig. And even then, like, it made such little sense until like really the whole breadth of the internet came together to like try to figure this thing out. This is really still within the vein of, Halo. This I Love Bees had nothing to do with Halo on the surface, right? Like, for a while,
exactly.
For a while, people didn't even know what I Love Bees was. Like, they
were just solving it,
trying to solve it.
Yeah.
Yep. And so that brought Halo to people that may possibly, for whatever reason, because the hype, like Derek said, was so strong, may not have even known about Halo. And so it really spanned like a lot, like the majority of the internet. It sort of overtook it for a couple days. Whereas this is like, hey, go to Halo site and
do some Halo
stuff, and you'll get some Halo information. Like, all right, dude, can you just fucking give it to me, man? Like,
I guess, yeah, you're right. It's a little less ambiguous.
Yeah, it's not as ambiguous as it was, but it's still cool.
Fun.
It's a cool idea. Yeah.
I agree.
Anyway.
All right, next story.
Next story. Nintendo will develop new smartphone games with DENA handheld services. So they're a third-party company that's going to be building these for them. So Nintendo will handle most new smartphone game development in the strategic partnership with Japanese mobile company DENA, according to the company's president, Satoru Iwata. So speaking with Time, Iwata said Nintendo will develop most of the smartphone games in production with DENA, with the mobile company working on the service side of things. So this is probably a part of the industry that they know not as much about, and so they're creating an awesome partnership with people that do. So it makes sense. Quote, development of smart device games will be mainly done by Nintendo, but it is significant that we are forming a joint development structure with DENA, he said. Quote, Nintendo, through experience in the dedicated game system business, is good at making traditional game products. But for smart devices, in addition to the product aspect of the game, the aspects of the ever-evolving service is very important. A service that encourages consumers to play every day, even for a short period of time. DENA has extensive know-how in developing the service side of things and will be primarily responsible for these service-oriented operations. What a shocker. We will be able to greatly leverage the strengths of each party. Iwata believes that these mobile games will lead to more Nintendo console fans, which is good for them, obviously. As people gain interest in Nintendo properties through the smartphone titles, they will then look to consoles for more experiences in their favorite franchises, which I don't know has really been true in the past. So this is an interesting sort of thought for them. Nintendo and DENA announced their strategic business alliance last week with plans to bring games to smartphones this year. DENA thinks it can reach 100 million daily active users with this new deal. That's a large boast, by the way. In case you're wondering, that's huge.
It's a pretty big number.
It's a pretty big number. So, I mean, I guess the upshot here is, in the mobile realm, you tend to have people that maybe used to play video games or never have. Those people probably remember Nintendo titles. They probably don't have the time to sit down and play a Nintendo game anymore. So perhaps. I do think they will have a decent sort of draw there in the mobile gaming space. Whether that will translate into console sales, what do you think?
That's really the part where this gets a little ambiguous. Like, it's one thing if Nintendo wants to make money off of selling games on phones and take their Nintendo properties and make some dumbed down versions, and you have the Mario Infinite Runner, and you have just leverage all your properties that way. But to think that all of a sudden the mom who plays Candy Crush Soda is going to go out and pick up a console just because she likes Mario now, I think that's a big leap.
That's pretty big.
Yeah. I don't see that happening. I'm not sure what person sees that happening.
No, and so the weird thing, like if you've been looking at this news with Nintendo, especially in like the last week, is they also sort of recently let slip that they're planning on releasing a new. I guess they haven't really said what it is, but it's essentially going to be a new suite of products. One of them being a new system, relatively soon, which really wonders where the place of Wii U sits and what this new system is going to be in conjunction with Wii U. But clearly, the announcement of this mobile thing is to try to create a platform where they can distribute games universally on multiple systems. So including their new system, their new console, whatever that may be, their handheld, whatever that may be, and this mobile.
I think the handheld and the console are going to be the same thing. I think it's going to be one and the same at this point.
Yeah, I wonder. I mean, it's for them to make a leap of, well, we're going to develop for one platform and we're going to distribute it everywhere. Is that their answer to that? Like, maybe it's a really dumbed down version of the Wii U that is essentially like that piece of shit that you bought. I don't even remember the name of it anymore.
The Ouya?
The Ouya.
Ouya is the biggest piece of shit that.
So is it like Nintendo's piece of shit Ouya, where all it does is play mobile games on a big screen? And if that's the case, holy fuck, they are going down a rabbit hole that they will never be able to get out of. That would be me.
That would be horrendous.
Terrible decision. So it's really an interesting story because clearly Nintendo is trying to make moves. I just feel like no one can understand what these moves are right now. We're just like, all right.
Nintendo always plays to the beat of their own drum, though. Like
they do.
You never people are releasing consoles that are badass, and Nintendo's like, hey, we don't need them badass. We're just gonna put out this fun little piece of shit, and people are still gonna buy it, and people did still buy it. And then the second time around, they were like, remember when you bought our thing that was a piece of shit that nobody else did? Yeah, we'll buy our next one. And people are like, well, I had that Wii for years, and all I did was play bowling. And
yeah.
I really don't know if I'm going to pick up another one. And you know what? There's a couple people out there who've picked them up, but not everybody that had a Wii fought onto the Wii U. And that's really, that was definitely the huge drop-off. The end of the mountain climber game on Price is Right.
There you go.
Yole. Boom. Bomb
Done.
Drop. Yes.
So I guess we'll see. I mean, they're always their idea of where to go next. That's the one thing I can say to their credit. No one ever fucking knows.
No,
no one
predicts. Totally Baked is always guessing. They're just
they're just like, what if we do this?
Mobile, baby, that's where it's fucking at. Everybody's playing Candy Crush. We can have Candy Crush Mario. And someone's like, I'm pretty sure Candy Crush is a trademark. And it's like, fuck that. Mario, bitch.
That's really, I mean, I can only assume this is the way it goes because I can't find any other rhyme or reason to how it could go in a legitimate setting where people are actually deciding these things on purpose. So
and not high.
And not high. Exactly. Yeah.
That's really the Nintendo strategy.
That's the strategy right there.
This is why Ganj is illegal in Japan, because as soon as these guys come over here and they're like, hey, let's go have a meeting over at Nintendo of America. And Reggie's like, guys, I got the bong. Let's rip some. But after they hang out with Reggie for a little bit, everybody's fucking like, all right, mobile's where it's at, bro. Yeah.
And I will say, though, I agree with them 100% that mobile's where it's at for Nintendo. I actually think out of all this news, this is a smart move. Should have been done years ago. I mean, really a long time ago. But at least they're moving in the right direction for Nintendo. That makes sense for them because they're like, Mario is a fucking shitty, any system can play it type of game. Why not on a mobile phone? You know what I mean?
Yeah, I concur. Yeah. I don't know. It's fucked up.
It's fucked up.
Either way, it's insane news. And, Nintendo has done well with this stuff in the past, and we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Yep. All right, next story.
Next story.
Skate-Man Intense Rescue developer uses a DMCA takedown notice against Jim Sterling videos. This is via Game Politics. Popular YouTube personality and games journalist Jim Sterling became a victim of a DMCA takedown at the hands of developer Digiplex Games after he made jokes about the quality and gameplay of the company's PC game Skate-Man Intense Rescue. By the way, that title should already tell you the game sucks. I don't even know anything about the game. And I'm hoping we get a DMC takedown notice. But right there at the title, I'm What the fuck? Sterling made light of the game in a YouTube video called Skateman Intense Rescue. Welp, video games have peaked. So that's pretty shitty. But again, shitty title. Yep. Apparently, Digiplex Games didn't see the humor in Sterling's video and made a copyright infringement claim against it to YouTube, who promptly took it down. Because if anyone knows YouTube, and we do, anytime you say anything about a DMCA, they just take it down. They don't even look or guess or whatever. You could just say like your friend did it, it's copyright, and they will take it down immediately. So visiting the YouTube link, users are then greeted with a blank screen and a message from YouTube that notes this video is no longer available due to copyright claim by Digiplex Games. Sterling announced the fate of his video via Twitter. Using a DMCA takedown in retaliation for criticism is considered the worst possible behavior on the internet and will certainly not help Digiplex Games. Not that they really needed the help in burning themselves. They already made the game. And it's definitely going to hurt its reputation. However, Sterling at least seems to be taking the whole thing in stride. It's not like this is the first time one of his videos have been taken down in this manner. Anyway, because if anyone knows him, he's opinionated.
Yeah, Jimmy Sterling is
in a good way.
Yes, he is as far out there as you can get. He has some of the most. You think we're opinionated?
Oh, he's got opinions.
Jim Sterling makes us look like little saints because he the shit that spews out of his mouth, the chains of swears that he can connect to describe certain fucking things are just foul and insane. I can't even describe it. So Jim Sterling, I assume I didn't see his video, obviously because of the takedown, about the awesomely titled Skateman Intense Rescue. Probably the shittiest game title ever.
Yeah.
But I did not see what he had to say about this, but I can only imagine that it was truly Jim Sterlingized. And, you know, for those of you who don't know Jim Sterling, he was a huge game journalist, did the Jimquisition for a while. He does a lot of video content, always sits back. He's wearing a black sport coat, always has sunglasses on no matter what time of the day it is. And he'll tell you how he sees it. And I'm sure the thing that caused a problem with Skateman Intense Rescue was he called it like he saw it. And it was probably a steaming pile of fucking shit. And it's fucked up that a company cannot take criticism. Like, we take criticism. We covered at the beginning of the show. We had 2 super positive comments. Somebody didn't like our the third commenter didn't like the show. And we were like, hey, whatever, it's cool. We're not for everybody. But this is a company that puts out a game. They probably sent him a review code. You know, they probably wanted him to check this out. He didn't like it. He says he doesn't like it. And then in their form of censorship, they're like, well, we have no way to get rid of this video. Let's say it's copyrighted. And it's a fucked up method to do this.
It is. I mean, it's a new form of censorship, right? Like, that's the new way to do it. Is if you don't like the review that got put out, you claim that there was a copyright infringement, should have never been there in the first place, and they will promptly take it down. Because that's the way YouTube now operates, is it doesn't have people in place to actually look at any of this stuff. As soon as it gets the claim, it really makes... It goes for the claimer, not for the actual person that's developing the content, which is a little counterintuitive to how it should work, because you would think that YouTube would want to protect its content, and certainly the people that provide that content, which makes YouTube allowed to make a ton of money.
Yeah, this has happened to us in the past. We've been sent trailers from Activision. Here is our trailer in raw video format. Do what you want with him. We're like, okay, let's put it on our YouTube channel. And then like within a day, it's like, oh, there's been copyright infringement claims on a video on your YouTube channel. And we go, look, and it's the video that Activision sent us, and somebody else is saying, hey, you can't have this Activision video in your channel. And we're like, no, they emailed it to us. They emailed it to us to put up there. So the whole DMCA takedown thing is bullshit. It's basically a cover your ass thing for whatever provider is serving your video. It's that way they can be like, hey, we didn't know it was copyrighted. Like, as soon as you told us, we took it right down. And that part of the system is fucked up. But that really is the downside of the DMCA. The DMCA took this broad shotgun approach to dealing with copyright claims, and it only hurts content providers and people that legitimately use content, because anybody can place a copyright claim. I can go put a copyright claim on somebody else's thing and say it's mine, and the first thing they do is take it down, and then they worry about shuffling out the paperwork and say, oh wait, well, he really couldn't claim that was his. And I'm sure that Jim's videos are going to come back on at some point, but the whole system is fucked up, and this is really really low for what are they? Digipex Games? Like not any of us ever
They
heard
even
of
have a
them.
shitty company name.
Yeah, none of us heard of them
Oh,
before
shit.
today.
Yeah.
So Digipex Games, they fucked this up, and they're going to be the ones that come out with egg on their face after.
Absolutely. Yeah.
This.
So, Derek, what do you think about the story?
Jay, this story has me saying, what the fuck? And on that, why don't we hop on over to the mailbag and voicemails? Altius asks, with E3 rapidly approaching, what do you see as potential big announcements on the console side? Slim versions of either the Xbox One or the PS4? Something from Nintendo? Price cuts?
It's an interesting question. For me, the whole slim thing, I actually don't care. I'm actually quite happy with my beast of a machine. That doesn't bother me at all. So I would definitely not be impressed nor hyped for a new system, design-wise. I don't care about those things. But I am now starting to wonder if Nintendo is going to do any announcement in terms of their new hardware. The weird thing, in terms of where they're positioned, it would be one of the only E3s where Nintendo had new systems to show, and nobody else did. And
They did for the Wii U during the off-season there.
That's true.
They were mid-cycle.
But it was within the hype of the new systems coming out of the other people. So people kind of like, were like, oh, okay, you're going to release too early and you're going to fuck this up. And that's exactly
what they nailed it.
Yeah, they were like, boom,
nailed
we got you. You want me to fucking release this way too early? I will do that. So this time it's going to be a little bit different, where they're on the outer edge of that release. However, I mean, there are not a lot of, we've said this before, there's not a lot of like interesting shit, at least that we can come up with, that's coming out, at least in terms of like software. So it's going to be a very weird E3. And as we've said in the past, I think it's still going to mostly revolve around like Oculus and this virtual reality thing. Because I don't know that there's anything else to be excited about. I mean, are you excited about anything in terms of Sony, Microsoft camp, or what do you think?
Unless there's something that we haven't heard about yet that's going to be announced, which is possible. Like we know that we're going to see maybe Fallout 4 announced software-wise. That's going to be a big thing because Bethesda never has a press conference. They have the one this year. But Altius specifically asking about console stuff. Yeah, at this point, coming into the second year, maybe these guys have found a way to streamline their production process, streamline the size. Maybe we'll see a slim. PlayStation, they're known for putting out 8 revs of their console in each generation, and they keep getting smaller and smaller, different layouts, different drive setups. They swap out hardware all the time. Microsoft, a little less so. They do it 2, maybe 3 times a generation, and a lot of times it's just, hey, let's change the outside color and call it a day. And they've already done that. So at this point, maybe we'll see slim versions of both. This could be the E3 where Nintendo comes out and they say, hey, here's our Nintendo Nexus, and it's a console, and you can also plug your handheld Nexus into the top, and then it's all your games in one spot, and you can take them with you, and you can take your portable, and I don't know. If there's a time for Nintendo to do it, it's now. Because last time they showed coming too close to the next generation and underperforming is not a good thing. Coming after the generation and kind of shooting on par with the generation may be acceptable. That we don't know. No one's done that. But
yeah,
coming late and hitting the mark slightly, that could be okay. Because even with the Wii came late, but it was underpowered. It came after, and it was not as powerful as the Xbox 360 or the PS3. But the Wii had the motion stuff, and it had a gimmick. So I think the gimmicks are worn out unless you're coming out with Oculus VR style 3D and VR. So I don't know. It's a tough call. Maybe price cuts, like Altius said, all around.
Yeah, price cuts I could possibly see. I mean, obviously Microsoft's been flirting with it for the last year, and they've been it's been very successful for them. Yeah. So you might actually see some of those answers finally coming from Sony's camp. They may finally feel like they're losing enough ground where they need to do it. Maybe not. But you might actually finally see that. But in terms of what Derek says, like maybe that should really have been, Nintendo's model all along. They clearly can't, in terms of technology, build systems that are on par with the big boys. They don't have the resources to do that. That may be the case. Maybe their best bet is to wait a couple years and then just be at the same level as the other two. 2-3 years down the road, now we can produce something as cheaply as they can with what Xbox already has or with what Sony already has. And maybe that gets them somewhere. finally figured out all the shit that they figured out a couple years ago. So now you can get the same performance, except now you have access to all these titles you didn't or you can't through Microsoft and Sony. I don't know. I don't know. It'll be interesting. Good question.
It will be. And Altius, as always, you kicked ass and you really made us think and step shit up. So pro as always. If any of you have awesome questions or feedback like Altius, give us a call, 773-527-2961. Email us at podcast@tooltoplay.com. You can also comment on this episode's thread on the Tool to Play homepage. And sponsors! Remember, if we had sponsors and you supported them, you'd help support Still Got Game. So we are looking for new sponsors. We blew out our old ones because, our relationship with them was not providing an even... I felt like we should end of the stick from Netflix and from GoDaddy and from our last couple of sponsors. We gave them our time every week, and they really did not kick back. So if any of you want to sponsor the show, it doesn't matter who you are. Let us know, 773-527-2961, podcast@tooltoplay.com. You tell us what you're selling. We'll tell you you're going to pay us. We'll sell it. You pay us. Boom. Done. Twitter us up. You can find everything Tool to Play related at twitter.com/tool-to-play. Everything podcast related at twitter.com/still_got_game. I, king of the fucking internet, god of everything that's fucking holy, at twitter.com/Derek Nolan.
And you can find me over at twitter.com/dudeIRock.
Facebook the fuck out of us. Facebook.com/tool-to-play. Facebook.com/Derek Nolan.
Facebook.com/dudeIRock.
We also have a YouTube channel, youtube.com/tool-to-play. That is the place to find all of Tool to Play's fine video content, whether it's archive versions of these live shows, whether it's our one-off shows, like Tiff did a show for a while. She was talking to game devs. Hitman, everybody loves his show. His motherfucking hits. And for those of you that don't follow on Twitter, that shit was trending this week. People are clamoring for the return of Hits motherfucking hits.
That's all I want.
They want to hear the crinkle crinkle, and the new games open at midnight. They want to hear that shit. So any you want to bring that back, just hashtag that shit. Tell people that you want Hits quick motherfucking hits come back, because Hit is on the cusp of giving in and bringing it back. He really wants it to come back. And, go there, subscribe, youtube.com/tooltoplay. You'll be notified whenever new video content shows up on our channel. We also have an app. It's available on the iTunes App Store. It is available on the communist Android App Store. Free on both. iTunes, the real App Store. The Android App Store. I'm not even sure that's really an app store.
I don't even like to call it free on that App Store, because I feel like you're paying. You're paying in the sense that you're paying every day of your life that you have an Android device.
Yes. But you will not pay anything either way except for your soul on Android. Right. The app is free. Like we've said in the past, it's marginal, one step above complete shit. But we are looking for your feedback to make it better. So please let us know. Download the app for free. Check it out. Let us know what we can do to make that app better. And we will work to make it better for you. We won't charge you for that either. The app's going to be free in the long run. So you need to download it, tell us what you want, and we will fix it up and make it better for you. Speaking of iTunes, please rate and review this podcast in iTunes. We need some 5-star reviews. That's 5 stars. And we need some positive comments like, Derek D. Smooth Nolan and Joel Dude I Rock Albert are so dreamy. I can't wait to tune in each week to listen to their hauntingly handsome voices. And oh my gosh, I can't even handle it. The show is so fantastic. 5 stars. Something to that effect.
Yeah.
Except not in a creepy she-male voice like that. But if you have a real female voice, that is a much better voice to leave that comment in. But yes, we do need 5-star reviews and we need positive comments. We also have our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. We have some people here live now watching us here. We also archive this shit. It goes on YouTube, goes everywhere else. But this is where it's at, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. There's a follow button for you people that like to do shit for free. We also have a subscribe button. That's where you can kick something back to the podcast. You subscribe, it puts money in our pockets. You love us? Get a little money in the pockets. And we cannot stress it enough that is the best, most concrete way to support us.
It's the only way, God damn it.
If you like the show, you like to tune in each and every week, that is where to go, twitch.tv/tooltoplay. Hit that subscribe button, and that's like you putting your arms around Jay and I mean, like, we're all bros, man. It's like a party, and we've had like 20 drinks, and we're all having that like late night bro fest. And really, that's how you tell us you love us. Right, Jay?
Absolutely. Give me an internet hug, people. I need one.
Yep. All right. Last but not least, I want to remind everybody, join us each and every Monday night, twitch.tv/tool2play, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, twitch.tv/tool2play. And on that, Jay, why don't we wrap this awesome fucking episode up? I am Derek D. Smooth Nolan.
And I am Joel, Dude I Rock Albert.
Who the fuck said we're unfunny?